Journaling is one of those practices that has truly transformed my life. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of journaling around emotions. That's not really my cup of tea. I usually use it to think a lot about goals and a lot about how to design my dream life. So in this video, let's talk about how I use journaling to really have designed my dream life over the last 10 years. 3 or 4 of the main exercises that I use, and then basically we'll go through those exercises together and you can just follow along and write. What's up guys? It's Alex over at Modern Health Monk, author of the book Master the Day. So let's jump in. Now the first way that I use journaling a lot in my day-to-day life is I use journaling to course correct. If you've ever pursued a long-term difficult goal, like let's say getting a raise at your job, or moving into a new profession, or even just trying to figure out what you actually love to do, you know this is not like a one-week goal. It's like, oh, you work harder at your job for 6 months, then you try to ask for a raise, or you try to move into another department. Or you do thousands of exercises regarding trying to figure out what it is you love. Then you have to apply for all these different jobs. Then you have to wait to hear back. Most of the big things that will change your life are really processes. It's sort of an ongoing refinement process, like finding love, or getting your dream body, or becoming a YouTuber. So the problem is, these exercises take time. And so the regular ritual of reflection is really, really helpful. So let's jump in and I'll show you how I do this. The first question is where did I think I would be, basically, right? And let's say, for example, you thought you would be lean and fit. Let's say you think you'd be in a relationship. And the third thing is, let's just say you thought you'd basically be making 6 figures. As recent college graduates, we're all pretty delusional and think we're so special and that we deserve 6 figures. The first thing is, this is where I thought I would be at whatever age. And then the fundamental question is, what did I do on a daily basis? Basically, what rituals or daily habits, right? I mean, whole point of Master the Day is this exact point. If your daily rituals don't align with these goals, you're very unlikely to achieve them at any age. So what were the rituals I did on a daily basis? Like for number 1, did I go to the gym 4 times a week? Was I cooking my own food 5 days a week? And if it's a relationship, there can be all kinds of reasons why it didn't happen, it didn't work out, or it never formed in the first place. But for this, we could say, if I'm a guy, if you're more traditional, am I actually approaching women? Another thing is, am I working on myself in general, like this? Because ultimately, the greatest life hack for relationships is being the best version of yourself, right? Because you will be the rarest version and also the most attractive. And then after that, making 6 figures, basically we could say, am I in the right profession where that's possible? Do I have the right skills that get paid 6 figures? And basically from my point of view, am I investing the right effort? So course correction is basically around where I thought I'd be and my daily rituals. Now we can reflect on these more in the other exercises here. The second way I use journaling is to track progress and to track problems. Similarly with these long-term goals, like let's say your goal is to find love this year and you've been striking out recently for whatever reason. You don't meet a lot of people you like, maybe you don't come off well in dating, maybe you're just a guy who's too shy to ever ask out the girl you're attracted to. I find that for these goals that are, again, process goals, regularly journaling on a daily or weekly basis about your progress, like, hey, I've learned not to be so awkward on dates and to talk about the other person, not myself. Or basically the problems, which are basically, it's been 3 months and I've not asked out a single girl that I'm attracted to. This kind of regular reflection is really, really powerful for developing self-awareness. And ultimately, the only reason your life will change is that you've developed increased self-awareness around your patterns and really your habits and your rituals. So let's do an exercise around this. So progress and problems, basically what we want to see is, what progress have I made towards these goals? This is sort of like having a positive mindset, right? So looking at the positive. So maybe we can say, looking up at the first exercise, well, I lost 10 pounds. Or maybe I had a relationship but didn't work out. So there's progress there. Going from constantly unhealthy relationships or constantly single to having a relationship. And then with 6 figures, you can say maybe I make 60K now instead of 40. That's process and progress. But now we really want to look at, okay, what are the problems, right? What are the actual barriers? If these were my ideals, lean and fit, loving relationship where I'm happy, 6 figures, what are the problems here? And then we could just break it down. We could say for the first one, let's pick the number 1 is, I don't actually know how to lose the last 10 pounds. So we can figure out a way to improve our strategy. Had a relationship, but let's say, you got cheated on, let's make it sad. And then we can think, did I get cheated on because of something I did or didn't do? Or did I just make a poor choice of a mate? I made 60K instead of 40K, so we'll say that was great, but how do I make 100? And from there, we can start this thinking process of, okay, well, if I want to make 100K, then I need to figure out what jobs actually pay 100K, and I need to start developing those skills. or find a way to get those skills. So for this progress and problems exercise, basically what we want to do is look at what's working and what is still in the way. Now, although we're going through a couple sample journaling exercises in this video, I've actually put together a free journaling worksheet that is designed to help you have your best year ever. It's the first link right below this video. You can also just go to modernhealthmonk.com/journaling. And basically in that worksheet, I break down your vision for the year or for the quarter, the season, your daily rituals, daily habits, your problems, and even really like a time block schedule and calendar that will help you design that quarter or that year. So I highly recommend downloading that. You'll also get a 7-day series on how I use journaling to design my dream life. Stories from my own life, new exercises I'm not showing here, and more. So check it out. The third way I use journaling is to really brain dump new strategies for a life that's not working. You know, for example, over the years of being a YouTuber, the landscape has changed a lot. One of the biggest things is that the same kind of content I've been making, and a lot of us have been making, isn't performing as well. You know, something that might have gotten 20,000 views for a certain level of production quality and personality and storytelling now may only get 5. And the reason is that these other platforms, the short form platforms, are co-opting attention. And at the end of the day, this kind of business is basically about attention. So I've had to figure out what is our strategy going forward. And if you've seen me take a little hiatus from this channel, it's exactly because of that. Trying to figure out what is our new plan and refinement going forward. So let me show you an exercise that helps you analyze basically what do I need to update about my life playbook and how can I do that. The third exercise is basically what's new. What new strategies do we need to do? And one of the ones, the example I gave was of this changing landscape of YouTube, where you know, basically I went through all these exercises, positive, almost 500,000 subs, problems. Each video is performing worse and worse and worse, and nothing is changing on my end. So obviously the landscape is changing about people's attention. So what should I do now? So I came up with like 3 strategies. One strategy was better videos, multiple cameras, better editing, etc. Basically more money into each video, double the amount of money. And then I wrote better business model. So I'm focusing more on, you know, my online programs because that's where people get the most help. And then 3 was we basically decided focusing on the first 30 seconds being more interesting. And this became our what's new. But of course you can apply this to anything. Fitness, relationships, more money, love. What's new? If the strategies really aren't working, try new things and see what happens over 100 days. And the fourth way that I use journaling is to try to sit down and figure out why every year has been the same. I've worked with a lot of people one-to-one, either people that are like millennials or Gen Z doing kind of life coaching and career coaching. And I've also coached people in their 40s and 50s. And one thing that's very similar is that people that are like millennials or Gen Z can be having quarter life crises, AKA, what do I do with my life? I'm super depressed. But also people in their 40s and 50s are going through a midlife crisis, which is that they've done all these things and they've gotten to a certain age and one day they wake up and they're like, how did I end up here? I had a way different vision for my life and what I thought it would be and where I thought I would be at this age. Why didn't it happen? The similarities are that basically a life without reflection will lead you into a life that is not the one you wanted. It's really that simple. If you're not thinking about the life you want every single day, chances are you are going to drift and you are going to get off track. Because you know that saying, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. So this exercise is really designed to help you make sure a year from now, you are not in the same place. So let's walk through that exercise. So the fourth exercise, let's just call it the midlife crisis. For this one, basically, we want to reflect on a little bit more of number one. This always starts with, I thought at this age I would be somewhere else effectively. Now, I'm not here to shame you or blame you or judge you. I'm here just to say this is very common in the context of a human life. And without reflection, you will for sure live the same life. And in 5 years, you'll be in the same place. That thought should scare the shit out of you and make you do something different. You have to think about your thoughts about goals, your strategies, your habits, the people you're with. Are they the exact same people, right? That's contagious, like a virus. So sit down and think, what were the thoughts, the strategies, the habits, the people I was with, and what do I need to do to make sure the next 10 years are not like that? Now, I've also put together that free journaling exercise, that whole worksheet you can download. It's the first link right below this video. You'll also get a 7-day journaling series, a daily email about how I use journaling to design my dream life, specific exercises, specific things I recommend you working on, and specific practices that you should do on a day-to-day basis. The worksheet itself is pretty sweet. Basically, we go through your vision for the year, we go through the daily habits and the daily rituals that you want to work on, and then we break those down into what do my actual rituals look like via journaling so that I'm not here stuck a year from now. So check it out, first link right below this video. And then besides that, guys, Don't forget, I have another related video on using journaling to design your dream life right up here.